Hello and welcome to Top of the World. We really are on top of the world. Casper's been bothering me for the last week or so. He just don't get enough exercise. Well, I'm not quite sure where he is at the moment, but exercise is not something he's short of. What am I doing? Well, yesterday I ran in the main trails with a snowmobile, logging trails. But it's too dangerous to do in the thick of the forest because it wants to dart left or right. So in the past, when I've had to run little awkward trails, although this is not a short one, it's about half a kilometre long, in the trees, I've snowshoed it. Snowshoes, snowshoe track. And I snowshoe it 4 or 6 wide, and that just gives the snowmobile enough to be able to go round the track once or twice without... Twice? I can't even talk. I've taken my thing off and my gloves off while I'm doing this. What's the temperature cold? Is it snowing? Yeah. Is it going to snow much worse? Yeah. I wanted to show you the dog. Hut! Hoo! He's anyway, so this is where we're off to. We've come from down there, and we're going to work our way all the way through this and back down, back onto one of the main runs that I laid in yesterday. I think he's actually abandoned me. He's decided he's completely had enough. How deep's the snow? I don't know, about 3 feet. And you can see I'm only punching through about a foot or so, maybe a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet in places. But yeah, my snowshoes. Couldn't do this without that. Right, I'm going to crack on, see how far we get. Maybe I misjudged the distance. Taking some shelter under some trees. Got some thick trees to the rear of me. Oh, it's anyway. How far have we got? Well, bearing in mind we've come from way through all that down there, and we're only 1 pair wide, and we have some distance to go, and then when we've gone that distance, we've got to come back the same way and do it at least double width. And what that's doing is that's giving my skis some sort of stability so it don't go side to side, because you ain't never going to get through there straight. Right? I've been here too long to be able to tell you on that big thing of mine, you ain't going to get there through straight. You've got it planing, and that's, I can't move my weight fast enough. Anyway, we'll keep going, and we'll snowshoe through down there. When I get to the bottom, I'll join you again, and then we'll make our way back. And I don't know how far he thinks he's going to dig, but he's going to be an awful long way down before he finds anything. Well, that's where we just come from. See there. So that's 1 set of snowshoes wide. And we finally arrived at what I knocked down yesterday with a snowmobile. So you can see this is where I thinned out last year. Much safer to ride. And we cross over the river through there. And it goes down that way. Through there. Yeah, the river's just where he is. And we cross the river there. And I put this one up here. And now we've got to follow that route all the way back. Plenty of deer tracks, but no moose tracks. Right, we're going back that way, the way we came. He's still wagging his tail. Look. Show us your face, Casper. Good boy, good boy. We're back at the halfway mark. That's the single track, the way we came in, and that is the double track. So, if you don't know anything about snowmobiling, as long as I keep my skis in both of those tracks, the track will flatten that bit down in the middle, and she should ride reasonably well through there for a few times until it's compact, and then it's done. But if you get off that, she's on her side and done. Between logging seasons, right, you seem to get a little bit fatter, a little bit older and a little bit more unfit. But like I say, my distance was wrong, probably by a lot. So we're losing light. I know it don't look like it because the camera picks it up, but we are losing light. Anyway, are we going to get back in daylight? Yeah, I think so. I think so. We're only about halfway. So, I mean, I pant and puff and pant at the best of times, but yeah, and before you all start commenting, have I lost another tooth? Oh yeah, yeah, but that weren't a hernia this time. It was a fucking peanut. Right, warplanes. Do we want to go on about this? Oh, it's a nightmare. Oh, I can hear him in the background. That's a fighter jet. But last night and the night before, heavy bombers, spy planes, something up high, 4 engines, making a right racket for hours. They do in this circle, watching what he's doing up north on the Finnish border. I don't know why. Anyway, right, while we'll put our tunes on, then we won't have to hear it. He's buried himself, and I'm off-ski. Well, I'm just not physically able to do anymore. He's had the most exercise he's had in 3 months. I've had the most exercise I've had in 3 months. Well, that's the outward trail run tomorrow. I think I'm in the bathroom tomorrow. But if I'm not in the bathroom tomorrow, I'll go and run that. But we're due to have a lot more snow this afternoon and tonight. Anyway, I know it still doesn't look like it, but it's getting dark and I'm done. It's the next day. Much nicer day. Look at this. Much nicer day, but much colder. So we started this morning at 5 AM because my neighbour had to go to work early, so I had to start ploughing at 5:45. Furnace lit by 5:20, outside at 5:45. Anyway, it's now early afternoon, so I've actually done a working day just ploughing. Now that's not so bad, and I'll tell you why. This year I told everybody they got to pay more for the ploughing, and I don't really want to take a tractor out, and that's alright, because 1 or 2 decided they didn't want to pay more. You want to see the mess they've got now. Anyway, I can't believe I'm traipsing through all this snow. I ploughed all this yesterday. Anyway, it snowed all day yesterday, all last night and this morning. And do you know what? I'm carrying my things, and I've got my gloves are tucked in here, look. Right, really stupid, because this one's going. Anyway, we're off snowshoeing again today to complete what we couldn't complete yesterday. I could hardly walk after I'd done that. And then I'm struggling on and off the sofa like some decrepit old man last night with all my muscles aching. I've got groin strain. Now, there are all manner of activities that I remember that give you groin strain. Oh, none of them involve snowshoeing. Anyway, there you go. Right, you can see here, I ploughed here this morning. And I ploughed all the bins, and I ploughed down that way. Come on. So he was funny yesterday. When he gets back, he's in a lot of trouble, he is. So I put a warm towel around his face, and I've got to stick these in here. I've got to put my gloves on. I've got no choice. Put them in there. So anyway, I put this warm towel around his face, and I'm melting all the ice off around his lips and his eyes. Wouldn't put the towel underneath him. His entire undercarriage obviously you saw him wading, it's frozen, complete, one big solid block of ice. How cold is it? Too cold to be in, not wearing my gloves. Really cold. Anyway, he's not one for the shower, is Casper. He's standing there looking at me with his legs apart. And I said to him, do you want a shower? He ran. He ran to the top of the stairs. Normally I have to coax him down or pick him up and carry him. Now, I opened the doors to the cellar and he ran. By the time I'd even switched the light on, he's run all the way to the other end of the cellars. He stood in the shower. Anyway, I had to melt the ice from underneath him. He was very pleased. But he don't seem bothered. Look, he's had it again. Yeah, so I was traipsing up here this morning. I reckon it was about 10 past 6. Might have been 6:15 time I got here. In my tractor with no door and no heat. And yeah, out of all those hours I've been ploughing today, I had to stop almost on the hour to go inside and warm my hands and my feet. My feet got cold today. That's unusual in these boots. Anywho, we're going to go and see how bad. So the fact that it snowed today is not so much of an issue on all the trails that we did yesterday because it's compacting. So we should be quite good. We should really be quite good. Beautiful day though. Right, what we'll do is we'll get our snowshoes on and we'll make a start. I think we've got to work our way back to where we was yesterday. I had to give up on my second trail. So that's what we've run, look. So it's got a light covering of snow on it, but you should be able to walk on it. There you go, you can walk on it without going through. How much did we get last night? I don't know, about 6 or 8 inches. Up! Come! 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 Anyway, so we're on about 3 feet of snow now. We're not going through in our boots, which is good. You know, just run. We should be able to get to all the way to where we went yesterday without having to put our snowshoes on, and then we can snowshoe up, finish off what we're doing, and we're going to disappear deep into the forest. Right, this is where we gave up yesterday. So you can see this is where I've run this in the Snowmobile, and there's only a single track up here with fresh snow on it. Well, just about up here somewhere is where I gave up. Literally, I don't know what that is, 20 metres? 20 metres from the end. I quit. I just couldn't do it anymore. So even with snowshoes, you can see I'm 2 feet compaction. It's so light and fluffy. You think it's funny? Do you? So we just finished this one off, and then we're going to go and do another one. Well, you can see what we're doing there. It'll also give you a real-time look at how long it takes. Anyway, I can assure you it's worthwhile doing it for me, because every time I fall off that damn snowmobile, it can take so much effort to get it upright again. Nearly there. Am I puffing and panting? Yeah, I am. Right, that's where we failed yesterday. There. And now this one, because I compacted it yesterday, right, there's no compaction. I can walk easily across this now. Okay, so that one goes up off the mountain and round, and whew, I must be mad. Was that capricating? That's early. Bird. Was it? Anyway, what I was going to show you is we're back on Thomas's land. This is what I thinned last year, if you remember. Just stunning. So where it goes dense, that's the boundary. This was the piece of land I'd done last year. Just beautiful. Right, now we're going to head down to the other end of a plot of land where I want to get into. So easy once you've done it once. And then still won't be an easy run the first time with the snowmobile, but it saves so much. You see the river in there, frozen solid. All right. He thinks it's all a great game, he does. All right. He thinks it's all a great game until we get back and he realises how cold and frozen he's got. But that coat, that's why I don't clip him. He needs that. Right. Now, we're in a right mess here. This big mess, this was me trying to get through in the snowmobile badly. Several accidents away. Right, what we've got to try and do is get a route off through there. So I managed to get a run through here, which was good. And then you can see where it wanted to fall over, and I kind of had to bank under acceleration all the way around the corner to stop it from falling over. But where I was trying to get to is up there. Of course, with that huge great snowmobile and my relative lack of skill with it on soft snow, do you know, I've never ridden a lightweight fast snowmobile. I'm sure I've got sufficient skills now to be quite good at it. Anyway, you can see how the track was banked, and I was like a motorcycle off round here to get that in. But we've got to run a track through there. We never finished through here last year. There's so much thinning needs to be done. We're gonna get into that and start opening that lot up. Now then, I'm at a place on this property I've never been before. Look at my breath frozen on my coat. So we're on the far boundary, the most southwesterly boundary and I'm making this track 5 or 6 wide, and you can see the land I'm supposed to be on and other land. So this, when I came here, this would just been felled, all this. This is all baby stuff. So we're going to work all the way down the boundary. So I'm round the corner, I've got to come off another track onto this track some way away. Now, this is the bit that's slightly perplexing to me. This particular property is, I forgot the name. It's a square, right, pushed on its side. Parallelogram. Do I remember that? Yeah, right. Anyway, so the far boundary should be more southwest than it is over here. And the boundary we're on is going east to west. And I know the end of the boundary corner is over there. So, looks like all them years ago, somebody might have got a big eager, or my GPS and compass is off. Unlikely. Anyhow, so I want to lay a track in now, all the way down the boundary, straight through there. And then I can work back into this, because not only have I never worked this part of the property, I've never even been here. I've never been to this part of the property. So I'm going to put a... The reason I'm doing this, because I want to thin in here, and there's other places I could thin, but all within view of the house. Now, for those who've been around a while, you'll all know my friend Thomas. He's not been well for a while, and he's not going to get any better. And what I don't want to do is change his view, because one of the stunning features about this particular property is not only is it in a valley completely surrounded by forest, but it has a very healthy level of birch that he has maintained and brought on. Now, of course, I've cleaned it up a lot over the last few years so you can see it more, and taken away all the weeds and the other stuff, and it's striking. And not only do I not want to change his view, I actually don't want to take the trees within sight of the house. I don't think there's any need. And there's plenty of thinnings to be done. So I don't get paid for this. I'll collect all of Thomas's firewood for the next year. If I can get enough out, I'm going to do it for 2 years, because I thought I had done enough last year for 1 to 2 years, but with everything going up, they're using more wood and less electricity, which makes sense because they've got forest, lots of it. So I'm going to take more than I did last year, and the deal is that I take all their firewood and chop it all up and prepare it and deliver it, and then I take some firewood for myself. So, you know, I'm here. If I take sufficient firewood to cover the costs, then I'm quids in and I'm up on one. And it also saves me having to run in a second set of trails, because it really does me in. So we're going to need more wood than we get from here for ourselves, but this is going to help. But if I start cutting now, then I should get all Thomas's in and done in the yard. I'm hoping. Well, I've still got that bathroom job I'm still on. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to run the boundary and then work my way in segments and thin all the way through this back part, because I've never been here. I don't know what's in here, but we'll have it out, whatever it is. How's that dog doing? How's that dog doing? Yeah? Good boy. How are you doing? Frozen solid he is. Well, not frozen, as in he's frozen, but he's not frozen. Right, so we're going to run this to here now, because what I don't want to do is overdo my legs, because my legs hurt a lot. And we're going to follow it all back to the main trail. I would walk you through. I've got to guess. We're below minus 15. Right, that's 15 below zero. Are we below minus 20? 20 below zero. Freezing. No. I don't know. We're somewhere between 15 and 20 below freezing. Anyway, it kills the battery. So I've re-walked, or I've just walked back that way. That was the track we laid yesterday. And that goes halfway up the mountain and then all the way along and down, and we made another track on the far boundary. This is the track I run in with a snowmobile yesterday, but it only goes on the flat. I'm not going through the thick part of the forest unless I've walked it, just because I'll smash it and myself. Right, that's it. I just spoke with Thomas's wife. She wants some taken from the front of the property, so I can kind of follow that boundary. The dark green is the boundary all the way down, and there's some large birch, and it's pretty overgrown. I'd like to get through here, but this is like the tree line, which I want to leave, which is why I've left these big pines. Now I could arguably take some of those out, but they give a nice view from the house. Right, let's make our way to the front, and then I'm going to call this one a day. Northern Lights. Can I hear them? I wish I had a better camera. If only you could see what I could see. Amazing. The other night it was like a sensory overload. So we not only had curtains, but there was also like vertical, spiral, amazing. And because it wasn't so cold, you could smell the air and the lights and Anyway, they make a noise and I can hear them. It's like angels singing, depending on what you think angels sing like. I'll tell you about it one day. Good glorious morning. So I should be riding the trails, right? But that's not today. That was supposed to have been yesterday. I developed this weird pressure in the middle of my back, which I must admit is about the third time I've got that this winter. So I took a day out. I was on light duties, vacuuming, electronic stuff, you know. So now we're 24 hours or about 30 hours after you last saw the video, and I'm having to shovel crates around wood. I need some wood for the upstairs stuff, but I need to destack it, which means I need the forklift, which means I need the tractor. And all that great work I've done, you know, the ploughing and well, that's all gone. On. Groundhog Day. But before we get into Groundhog Day, I was talking to my mother last night, as I do, and she was telling me that after bingo they come out and there was ice on the windscreen. Ice on the windscreen. Well, there you go, ice on the windscreen in southern England. Shouldn't be any great surprise there during the winter, should there? Let me show you about ice on things. I thought I'm going to need... Remember back in the summer when I told you why the door to the generator house split? See that? Well, that's why. And that's because when these are in the mountains, you don't have to dig all the way to the bottom to open the door. The door splits and you can just step over. Anyway, that's frozen in time. Look at that. Everything's frozen. On that note, I thought I would give the tractor a bit of heat. And then I saw what I saw and I had to come and get you. Right. We've got to plug her in for 30 minutes to an hour just to give her a bit of heat. Oh, we're going to need a light in here. No, a bit of light. So there's my cable. So I picked up my cable like this to plug it in, and I went over there to that, and I'm like, oh, pretty. So what you do, plug her in. Right, I put this in. That's a block heater. You just put her in there like that. Right, and she'll warm up. But look at this. Will she warm up? Will she start? Oh yeah. There you go. And of course, I've been using this for ploughing. She's only been sat 40 hours. Yeah. And that's what you come out to. Right. It's pretty, I'll grant you. It's pretty. I suppose it's all frozen in there as well. Oh yeah. Right. So I've got to get the bucket off, and the forks are over there, up on that crate where the dog is. We put the forks on to lift down some crates. Now while we're lifting down the crates, something else I should have done before the winter hit, which I didn't. There's two things I've got to drag out, which we're going to need. The logging sled and the tool sled. There's the logging sled, look. Where's the tool sled, Simon, then? Well, where I left it, obviously. There. Now you could say, well, that was stupid. Oh yeah, look at that. Lovely. Yeah, anyway, up there, there's the chainsaw sled. And there's the log sled. So we've got to drag both of those out. Otherwise we won't get nothing done. How much snow have we had so far? Well, it's supposed to snow all day. So I think we've only had 4 inches so far. But what I like about when it snows, when you're working, now the yard's not in a mess, but when it gets in a mess, right, you leave it in a mess and there's bark and branches and stuff everywhere. And you come out in the morning and it's like, oh, nice and clean. Yeah, anyway. So it's not deep enough to put the bucket on. We'll clear this bit here. We'll just put the plough on and run with the plough and it just shoves everything out of the way. Right. So we got to shuffle around with some. I need to stack these, get these crates unstacked. This is all the small stuff for upstairs, and there's another 2 crates back there. They've got to be unstacked. This is long stuff for the main burner downstairs, and then I've got another 2 wooden crates there, and that's also small stuff. So you can see at the beginning of the winter, this place was absolutely rammed, solid. We're getting through it. They're the last 2 crates to the back wall, and yeah, we're getting to it. Are we still stuffed downstairs? Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's really not too bad. Right. Let's get on it then. the empties out, I turn them upside down so they don't fill with snow, because the chances are we'll start filling these long before the snow's gone. So you turn them upside down on the pallet, you just knock them up the right way and you're ready to fill them. I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, he made that look easy. Well, if you think you're good on a tractor with a set of forks, or you think you're good on a forklift, short wheelbase, front wheel steer tractors, rear wheel steer with a turning circle of the Lusitania. Took a while. So the purpose of that was obviously to get the log sled out and the tool sled down, and then stack the crates of wood down so I can pull them in one at a time. And now we've got the plough on, now we've got to do a quick plough of the roads, then I've got to go snow blowing. By that time it'll be mid-afternoon and I still haven't run them snowmobile trails. So that's just the way life goes. I just need to give the plough a quick clean off so it curls the snow out the way. So some of you would have seen this. That's my tool sled. In there we'll fill up with all our chainsaws and bits and pieces and things that we need. And then front half of the log sled, and then there's the rear half. And they connect together on the end of this one here. On the end of that one there, that's got a ring, and that clips into there. And then that one clips onto the back, down there. Right. It's time for coffee before we go ploughing. And yeah, you can see that leaning. That's because I didn't. It's sitting on the snow. Anyway, it'll be fine. As long as I do something before the snow melts, and that'll be months away, it won't fall over. All right, and then when we come back, we've got to put the bucket on and clean that big mess up. And we're all straight. Will I get to running those snowmobile tracks today? I hope so, but just depends on how the day goes. Really does. There are two other things. How is the van running since my repair? Since I found the bit in the belly pan? Perfect, no problem. I got asked this question. A new subscriber was watching me cut up one of the many large birch on the sawmill and asked me what happened. I thought I'd done a quick update. I did. Anyway, you know, this year I was supposed to build myself a new kitchen. Right, desperately need a kitchen. So, and that's what I cut all this wood for. Well, there we go. There it is. That is all slabbed up birch. There's some softwood in there as well for some framing, but that's all the big old birch, mainly this side. Some of this is smaller birch, but all the big slabs all stacked there, all air dried, 2 years now, ready to machine. I'm going to build a kitchen to die for, but it doesn't look like I'm going to do it this year because I've got distracted by this paying job, and that's what happens when the paying job comes up. You have to drop your own stuff and go and earn what money you can. Come on, bring the ball. So that basically means it could be another year. We'll see what happens towards the end of the winter. Come, come, come. Driving this is bad enough. Holding this camera, I don't know. That's the halfway mark. You see, you can never do this just on soft snow, but this gives it just enough to stay upright. Just enough. How I'm doing it one-handed, I've got no idea. I'm not going to be able to do this bit one-handed. Let me get around this series of bends. That's better. We made that all right. Right, I'm going to turn the camera off now and finish the rest of the track with two hands. I've got to get that out of there. Right, let's see if I can demonstrate 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can walk on it without snowshoes, just in your boots easily. This one, I've just run it. I'm back at the beginning. So you break through a little, right? See that? You break through a little. Right, now let's step off of the track. This is stupid. That's why you do what I do. That's why I do what I do. Right, let's go and run this trail a few more times, get that back down, and we go and pick another trail. We've got something for that. Appreciate that, because there's no power steering. There's no power steering, and that's the throttle. So I was one-handed steering and operating the throttle on a 1000cc because she wants to go. Right, we've just come the opposite way down. Now what we got to do is we've got to leave that to freeze. Success. We're going to run some more. But for me, that's all. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. If you want to contribute to the channel, there's a buy me a coffee link in the banner of the home page, and I'll try and put a link in the comments. Thank you all for joining me. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.